Hey guys, MTG Sly Guy here with another Magic the Gathering deck tech for the Amonkhet season of Standard. I've taken some time off of Constructed Magic lately, mainly because I was really getting sick and tired of that stupid combo. But since Felidar finally got banned yesterday, I figured I'd brew something up and head to Friday Night Magic tomorrow. And this is what I came up with, so I'm going to share with you today. It's a green-white tokens build. Well, without further ado, I'll get started. Um, First off, 6 plains, 4 forests, 4 fortified village. It's the reveal land from Innistrad. 4 canopy vistas, the slow land from Zendikar. 2 scattered groves, it's the cycle land from Amonkhet. 2 Westvale abbeys. And 1 blighted steppe, just for some life gain. This thing will gain a ton of life because this deck is all about going wide with a bunch of creatures. So a total of 23 lands in the deck. Next up, creatures. 2 Hanwar Militia Captains. 3 Selfless Spirits. A little bit of protection against removal. 3 Master Trinketeers. Just basically use him as a servo lord because the main token that this deck puts out is servos. It puts out some humans, like with Militia Captain for instance, but mostly I'm putting out servos. So it's a 3 of. And lastly, 1 Angel of Invention. Just another creature lord. Also spits out servos. The curve on this deck's pretty low. It's a pretty aggressive low to the ground deck, so it's only a 1 of it's the only 5-drop in the main board. For a total of 9 creatures. There's only 9 creatures in the deck because I have a lot of non-creature spells that put out tokens. So, starting off with those, I have a full play set of Servo Exhibition. 2 Aethersphere Harvesters, good for life gain, just a good value creature. Crew is only 1, so I can just tap 1 servo to crew it. Gives me a little bit of life gain, blocks Hearts of Kiran, just really good vehicle. 2 Oaths of Gideon, puts out 2 tokens and makes it so that I can ultimate my Gideons without losing them off the battlefield. 3 Collective Efforts. It's just a catch-all. There's a lot of really good enchantments in Amonkhet, and I imagine that enchantment removal is going to be a little more important in the upcoming season of Standard. But mainly, this is just putting 1/1 counters on each of my creatures, and I can also destroy a big threat that my opponent has. And, the escalate cost of tapping a creature is nothing, because I'm going to have multiple creatures out, so it's just really easy to escalate if I need to. Next up, a couple of protection spells, 2 Blossoming Defense, and 2 Heroic Interventions. Heroic Interventions are really important because if people don't have board wipes, they're almost always going to side in board wipes in game 2, and the ability to give all of my permanents indestructible is really important. And also the ability to protect my planeswalkers, not only my creatures, is also really good. Next up, 2 Oath of Ajani. Pretty self-explanatory. Makes my planeswalkers cheaper to cast, and it puts 1/1 counters on all my creatures. 2 Stasis Snares, just for removal spells. I'm thinking about maybe putting in 1 cast out in the main board. I don't actually have any cast outs yet. I didn't open any at the pre-release, so I have to wait till Friday to maybe pick up 1 or 2 from my LGS. 3 Nissas. Same thing, she spits out tokens and she puts 1/1 counters on all my creatures. So she's basically built for this sort of strategy. Same goes for Gids. Puts out tokens, creates a Lord emblem, and yeah, he's just one of the best cards in Standard right now. I was kind of glad that he didn't get banned. I understand how people who are sick of playing vehicles or facing vehicles would want him to get banned because he's just so good in that deck, but for me, I try to use him in a more traditional sense, like with this kind of token strategy. I just think he's perfect for it. So he is a 3 of. And then finally, the last card in the main board is 3 Ceram's Expertise. Puts out 3 tokens and then lets me cast one of my other 3 drops. And pretty much every 3 drop in this deck buffs all of my creatures. Because the 3 drops in the deck are Nissa, who puts out tokens on all my creatures. Collective Effort, which can put counters on all my creatures. And Master Trinketeer, which buffs all my servos, which predominantly all of my creatures are going to be tokens, at least will be servos. And then of course I have Stasis Snare as a removal spell. So Ceram's Expertise is a 3 of, and that's it for the main board. Oh, and of course I have Aether Harvester as a 3-drop, which I could also put out, which is also a pretty decent value card. So yeah, that's it for my main board. For the sideboard, let me just clear some of this out of the way. Sideboard, I have 2 Archangel Avacens for control and aggro matchups. 1 Sigarda for the control matchup. 1 Ajanian Yielding for control matchup. He's also very good because he's the only answer I have against Brizella, and I know there's a person at my local game store who likes to play a Brizella deck. So it's nice to have a solid answer against Brizella. Same with Fumigates. Fumigates are an answer for Brizella, and they're also, if I'm facing against other decks that are trying to go wide, if like there's a kind of a stalemate on board, I can maybe Heroic Intervention into a Fumigate. Or if I'm behind on board, you know, if I'm just in a bad shape, Fumigate's a good way to save myself. 2 Fragmentizes, because of, you know, things like Heart of Quran or Dynavolt Tower. There's still a couple of pretty, you know, Aetherworks Marvel. There's just a lot of artifacts, dangerous artifacts in Standard right now. Same with Appetite. Catches all. Also gets Gear Hulks. And any enchantments that people might be using, like if they're playing As Foretold or the Perspectives card, the blue 6-drop that lets you cycle for free. I know there's a couple of people who are building cycle decks in my LGS. So it's just a good, and also Cast Out obviously is going to be a big one. Next up, 2 Blessed Alliance, a little extra removal, some combat tricks, and a little bit of life gain. It's just a very versatile card. So depending on what I'm facing, whether I'm facing an aggressive deck or what have you, it's just a very versatile card for me to have. 2 Deccan Stones, just because I do have someone at the LGS who is still playing the Prized Amalgam decks, Haunted Dead decks, so you want to have exile effects. And also in a pinch it gets rid of Scrapheap Scrounger. And for that very same matchup I also have 1 Watchers of the Dead, just to try it, to see how it works. Yeah, it's just a 1 of in the sideboard. I might bring it in against him, just to see how it works with getting rid of his graveyard, neutering graveyard shenanigans. It could be complete crap, but who knows. I'm going to try it. That's the only way you're going to really find out if it's any good. It's just by trying it. So yeah, it's the 15th card on the sideboard. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the green-white tokens build that I threw together yesterday after I found out the Felder was banned. So I'm going to be taking it to F&M tomorrow to try it out, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.